Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to One Hub Racing Season 23, round number 6, as we head to one of the newest tracks on the F1 calendar, Las Vegas. We were at Qatar for the first round, and for the thick round, we head to something where we could see a bit of chaos or a lot of fun, or maybe both. My name is Jeff Sport. Joining me in the commentary box is Steve once again. He is trying to get into the game. So far, no luck, unfortunately, so it's going very well. Nope, it's not. But apart from that, how are you doing?
Oh, very good, Jess. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Unfortunately, my feature race didn't go very well, but we'll cross our bridge when we get to it. Sprint race is the way to go today. We've got the sprint race, which is 6 laps only, and then we got an 18-lap feature race as well, 35% race distance. That means I think the drivers should be in for a few chances that if they do well, if they don't do well in the sprint, maybe they have a chance to do well in the feature. But interestingly enough, we got more than half the grid, Steve, taking their engine penalties at Las Vegas. So we're only going to have, I think, 9 drivers qualifying for today's race.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a reasonable option for the drivers to do it here. I mean, it's sort of a no-brainer with that really long back straight, plenty of overtaking opportunities. This track, it's the place you want to take your engine penalty at 'cause it's so easy to overtake, so especially with the sprint race as well, so that also helps when it comes to moving your way forward through the field and everything, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. The drivers that have taken the engine penalties, it comes at the perfect time for them, so we'll just have to completely wait and see what the drivers do, as my game is still bugging out here, and I'm having no luck at the moment.
Yeah, so it looks like there's a server problem for Steve, which is not ideal, but we've come up with an alternative. I just hope it doesn't do any bad elements for the stream. Wait, what?
It's working now. You can invite me. It's working now. Well, it should be anyway.
Yeah, well, Lukey's going to try and do an installation app because he's one of the drivers who is taking his engine penalties. But we do have drivers that have taken theirs. I'm going to read you the list, and there's quite a lot of them. As Fatality, by the way, comes across the line and in P5, so I think he lost it in some way. And Brendan came across the line in P1. So we got Casper, Lukey, Waitsy, Nick, Colin, C Unarmed, Posh Evans, White Fountain, Boompai, and Timo taking their engine penalty. So what they got to do is they can do an installation app to save their setup, and then what they need to do after that is return to the pits and retire the car. No other driver has taken engine penalties, so we just got 9 drivers qualifying, which is always going to be exciting as well. But yeah, so that is going to be interesting to say the least as well. Let's watch Calzo. Calzo is one of our newest drivers to One Hub Racing this season. He has been a One Hub Racing veteran for quite a while, but it's been a while since he's joined at the moment. So yeah, and Steve has joined, which is always good news. But yeah, let's watch Calzo on his lap then, as he heads towards one of the most tricky chicanes known to man. Not gonna lie, you have to run wide a little bit to gain a bit of traction to finish with the. I'm trying to get my notes, so let me know when you're in and I can stop sharing the screen and I can have the notes on my computer, which can be quite nice as well. But heading towards the first set to 44.7, which is pretty decent for him as well in the Red Bull. But by the way, for advance warning, Steve hasn't watched the Singapore race in real life, so please do not spoil anything in relation to the Singapore Grand Prix. Thank you very much. But as Fatality has retired from the Grand Prix, so he must have crashed out somewhere. But let's watch Calzo as he goes through the Las Vegas Strip, which looks very lovely on the game, by the way, as he heads towards another right-left chicane as he comes through towards the final sector. Looking pretty tidy so far, but there has been a few drivers that haven't done many laps around this circuit. It's Nicolas Soro sets a lap time with a 1:31.580 as Calzo goes up to the line, and it's going to be P4 for him, a 1:33.300.
Very, very decent lap time there from Calzo, and I have now joined the session, so you don't have to share your screen anymore.
Good workaround though. It didn't die, yeah. So there we go.
something that's interesting about all these engine penalties is that one championship protagonist has in Timo, the other one hasn't in Nicolo Soro. So we got a real mix-up with these engine penalties, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens with all of that. I mean, I think this is Casper's second engine penalty this season, so he's taken two fresh engines in the past. I think I want to say 3 or 4 races. The last time he took one was Hungary, and yeah, so he's taking another engine. So that's interesting to see. The fact that he could have made it to the end on his other one, but he was like, no, I'm going to change it for this one. I mean, we do have a few drivers out on the circuit. Not many are on laps. Most of them on in laps, or of course on their one and only lap of the session on the circuit. But Axlock, I think, is on a lap as he's heading into turn 3 now and heading down one of the plenty overtaking opportunities with DRS, heading up into turn 3, which is very late on the brakes, very blind apex, off camber, so it's easy to go and understeer off into the barrier on the outside. Very hard braking zone now to spot out for the chicane. Very, very easy to also drop the rear end on the exit. Another understeery corner here. Natural understeer is quite a common thing around this circuit as he's now heading through the kind of S section of the circuit, flat out through here. Another difficult braking zone to spot, 8th gear. Then you've got to slam on the brakes, make sure you clip that inside curb, make sure you get the power down nicely. He has done on the exit there. Now down the Las Vegas strip, it feels like this straight takes an eternity to get down as a driver. 8th gear, you then go to maximum speed of around about 218 220 miles an hour as you head down into the chicane, the final braking zone of the circuit. Down to 4th gear, clip the first apex, run over the second curb, then through the penultimate corner, which then leads you on a nice little straight to the flat out final corner. Axlock, what can he do in this lap? What's it going to be to the line? It's good enough for second place, a 1/10 improvement there from Axlock, but still around about 8/10 off Nicolo Soro in first.
Not to put too much pressure on him, but I was practicing with Axlock yesterday, and he's been looking good. He's been beating quite a lot of drivers, so I expect him to do well, and if he doesn't, he's probably going to kill me. So yeah, P2, solid, but obviously Nicolo Soro right up there at the top. And by the way, this event will mark the first time Formula 1 race in Las Vegas since the 1982 Caesars Palace Grand Prix. Yes, we were at Las Vegas in 1982, ladies and gentlemen. I'll need to find out who has won that one, but that was the last time that has ever happened. So there we go as well. So quite a few interesting developments as well. It's 3.803 miles, 6.120 kilometers. One of, I think, the third or second longest on the calendar. It is a counterclockwise circuit. And believe it or not, it starts at a disused parking lot. So there's going to be a big paddock area, actually. So it'll be interesting to see how people would think about that as Posh Evans is serving his engine penalty. Who's going to be the first to start the lap? Let's talk with Owen Wyatt, actually, because Japan last week, it was his first race back in One Hub Racing. He has raced in One Hub before, and to be fair, I've seen him in other leagues as well. He does race in another league as a reserve, and this is more his game. I think, obviously, since the pad introduced, like, position drive and that, he's getting more of a feel of this game. He's very, very quick. He's competitive as well. He gets involved in some great battles. He finished second last week. He did take advantage of, obviously, Colin and the likes of Nicolo Soro making contact, and I think it was quite a lot of people making contact as well. So he took advantage of that. Looking quite good here as well in P5. I could see him doing well again tonight.
Yeah, I mean, last time out he capitalised on Nicolo Soro and Matt's having that incident, but still, he was always there. He was always in that position to even get past those two. He had very, very strong pace last time around in Japan. This time around in Vegas, it's a bit of a different circuit. Obviously, not as technical as Japan, not as, I would say, on the edge as Japan either. You can be a bit more relaxed through some of the place around here than you can at Japan. Japan, you can't have any breathers, where, unlike this, heading down this straight, you can then focus, rethink about how you're going to attack the next corner, and then you do it. So it's a different circuit. It's going to be a completely different race. Of course, we've got the sprint and then the 35%. So it's going to be different on strategy as well on when drivers box. But it's also just going to be different in the way it's managed. DRS trains going to be very, very common. Moves going to be more. There's going to be a lot more overtaking opportunities. So Owen and drivers up in the top 5 or top 6 do have to think about when they make their moves and what they do with it. And it's something you need to look out for throughout this whole race, is how drivers manage their tyres, their ERS. Owen now heading down the Las Vegas strip as we speak. But someone else who had a decent race last time out, J. Cole. He hasn't really had the form since Qatar, but managed to finish 4th last time out in Japan, capitalised on a few penalties. And hopefully that is the confidence he needs for the remainder of the season to move himself forwards. And just try rekindle the form he had at the start of the season.
Yeah, I have to say he was one of the Driver of the Day nominations. Unfortunately, he did not get voted, but Timo was one of the drivers that got Driver of the Day. So congratulations to him. And Timo was asked quite a few things in the pre-race interviews as well earlier on today. Only a fair few likes this track, he said. However, it's the same for everyone and he's going to give it his best. He'll make it work in terms of the setup, which I think is knowing that a lot of drivers will be spending a lot of work on the setup today. And he's in a championship battle, so he can't risk throwing away points, so he'll be looking to limit as much damage as possible starting from the bat, obviously with his engine panel. He is his championship rival, by the way. Slots himself into P1, and Timo was saying about his teammate getting help. Difficult to say, but if he's in a position to either get some help from his teammate or help his teammate, then he will do it. But I think Matt is not here, so he's not going to get help from his teammate regardless. But yeah, interesting. Timo's last week's race winner, of course, and closing up on the championship as well. I will get the standings up as well at some point, which we'll go through in just a moment. But yeah, Timo definitely fighting with Nicolas Soro for the championship as it stands.
Yeah, I mean, Timo, the thing that affected Nicolas Soro last time out, he was just too risky with the move against Matt, so it really did help Timo out in the championship battle. But to be fair, Timo just dominated that race. He has over the past few weeks shown really, really good management on his race pace and on his tyres, on his battery. So he is someone to look out for today, making his way up the order. A track like this, it's easy to do, as I keep saying. This track, very, very easy to overtake, but we're just going to have to completely wait to see how quick some drivers are around this circuit. I mean, Axlock is 2nd place. He's not been that high all season, really, so far, so it's nice to see him up there, but we'll just have to wait, see what drivers do with the engine penalties, what drivers do that don't have the engine penalties, strategies that happen during the race. And the sprint race as well, it just throws everything out of what you would think a normal race would be, and just adds that whole new element of, even if you qualify, say, 2nd or 3rd, you might not even start the feature race in those positions.
Exactly. It's all about the sprint race. That's the thing that qualifies you for the feature race as well. And I'll go through the standings whilst they're on their outlaps. Timo is currently leading on 86 points. He was leading last week as well, with Nicolas Soro on 66. So 20-point gap between the top two. Brendan in 3rd on 60 points. He did have an injury last week, but he is back. So great to have him in the league. Still in 3rd though, which was great to see. 3 points behind him is the Unarmed in 4th place. Jaco in 5th on 49. Matt, who's not here, is on 40 points. A lot of traffic going through the long strip, by the way. Colin in 7th on 37. Casper in 8th on 32. Nick in 9th on 30. We've got Lukey on 22. Fatality on 17. Owen on 17 as well. And Larkin on 14. Boompai on 13. Delta Hunter on 11. Axelot on 9. As you said, if he gets a good result today, he could have a chance to double his points. Waitsy on 6, Konzo on 6, Posh Evans on 2, and obviously we've got the newest driver, Calzo, yet to score. But hopefully this could all change. And let's see what Axelot had to say in the pre-race interviews. I couldn't find his pre-race interview, so it didn't tell about that as well. But yeah, Nicolas Soro was called in a driver's press conference, and he said it's definitely a one-off in terms of making contact for scrapping. Things that can happen when you're racing close to another driver, and nothing against Colin at all, which was fair enough. And then Colin said, Sure, it'll be a one-off. Stewards deemed NFA, so no hard feelings from him. So, we're about to get going for the final half of qualifying. Nicolas Oro won't take any further part, but let's see what the other drivers can do with seconds to spare in the session. We've got a few drivers about to cross the line.
Yeah, we certainly do. Owen, I think, might know it's actually going to be a Williams, I think.
Brendan.
Or Brendan going to be the first one to the line. What can he set? Can he go up to second place? He's not too close, he's not too far behind Axlock, but can't. He cannot improve a position here. Improves by about half a tenth or so, but not able to get ahead of Axlock. Next across the line will be Owen Wyatt. He's up by about half a tenth in the middle sector. What about in that final sector? Easy to find time through that chicane. Stays in P5, I think, there, and a 132.506. Konzo stays 6th. Not many drivers improving enough to gain positions so far in this session. Axlock, what can he do? He's up by about 4 tenths of a second to the line. Oh, he lost it all in the final chicane, though, as that is Larkin, I think. Yeah, Larkin up into 4th place there. This session, with all these engine penalties, can help the drivers that haven't been up there and up at the top so far this season. J-Cole puts himself up into 2nd at the end there, and as I was saying, this session helps out massively for the drivers that haven't had the greatest of form. They can be at the front now, show what they can do against these top drivers, as J-Cole promotes himself up into 2nd. After 4th place last time out, of course, this qualifying isn't too important, knowing that we have the sprint race as well, but being up there for that sprint certainly does help for the feature race. You just have to keep your nose clean, but J-Cole, brilliant lap time there, but still 7 tenths off Nicolas Oro. Nicolas Oro absolutely flying in this qualifying session.
Yes, I think from J-Cole all the way down to Konzo, so close. So Nicolas Oro, J-Cole, Axelot, Brendan, Larkin, Owen, Calzo, Konzo and Fatality, your top 9. Then look at the amount of drivers taking their engine penalties. Will they be able to make their way from where they are on the grid to finish and start well in the feature race? Well, only time will tell, as we're about to get into some first racing action on our racing P1 tier. We hope you enjoy it. A massive shout out goes to all our sponsors. Next Level Racing, that is sponsoring the league by providing a lot of prizes such as an ERS seat cockpit thing for our champions draw. And then we've got the Next Level Racing Sam for everybody else. And then Pure Sim Gear, the driver with the most combined poles and fastest laps, they will get themselves some Pure Sim Gear gloves. And then we got the shortest qualifying time as well at the Tech Sim Sports, are sponsoring that prize. They win a set of Invicta Sim Racing boots. Mystery shirt box, they will win that if they are the winner of the 100 Racing Driver Rankings. Our partners, Vespertine, the sponsor of the league, they're providing our apparel and merch and lots of other things. And our partners, ERT, partnering the league by sponsoring our trophies and also the ERT Going Get Tough Awards. So thank you to all our sponsors again. We couldn't do it without you. Now, Lukey was called into the driver's press conference. So he was asked, we approached the halfway point of the season. How do you feel your season has gone so far? How do you feel you can do it into Vegas? He said, not his best. He think he could have got some better results. Imola was a disaster. Safety car ruined his race in Hungary, and his spin in Brazil ruined a good result. He's still learning no traction control, and hopefully his pace will improve over time. I have to agree. Once you turn off an assist, it does take a while. You got to stick with it. You can't obviously change it around. It will take quite a bit to get used to. So, yeah, I totally agree with that, because I turned off full traction and went to medium traction quite a while back in the last game, and I never looked back. So, good decision from Loki. But looking at your starting tyres, the recommended starting tyre, well, starting on the softs is the ideal strategy. With 6 laps, it can get to the end very well, actually. Top 8 are on softs, Fatality on mediums, Nick, Delta Hunter, Waitsy, C Unarmed on softs as well, Timo and Casper on mediums, and we've got Colin Posh on softs, Boompie on mediums, and Lukey on softs. Now, I don't think they're going to have decent amount of mediums for the race, so let's hope they got some hard saves for them, because they won't have some fresh going into this one. So I'm a bit intrigued as to why some people have gone for mediums, but you never know. They probably know something that we don't.
It could be just for a strategy point of view heading into the main race. Is that, I think you said it was about 18 laps, the feature races. So it could just be strategy overall, because of course it is two-stop here. So they could go for a medium at the beginning, then soft afterwards. That could be a key strategy around here today. But we're just gonna have to wait and see what they do with these strategies. I mean, the medium, I wouldn't say poses much of a threat in this sprint race compared to others, because Las Vegas, it doesn't really affect the tyres too much, knowing with all the tyre wear and all the straight lines that happen. It's mainly just that the end to that first sector that is the tight and twisty part, and that's not too many corners, so it don't really affect your tyres too much. So we're just going to have to wait and see what they do with their strategies. It's all up in the air, and I mean, it's a sprint race, to be fair. It could be good learning time for these drivers on the mediums to see what they can and where they can and where they can't push on those tyres. So it could just be learning the tyre itself. So we're about to get underway very, very shortly. I mean, this grid, very unusual that it curves around the final corner. But yeah, we'll just wait and see what these medium runners do heading into the race.
Yeah, that bend. Ideally, if you're like ninth downwards, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But we are about to get underway very... And I've muted. That wouldn't have helped. Anyway, the five red lights are going to go on your screen right now. Nicolas Oro on pole. Jaco in P2. And we are on the way, and Nicolas Oro's got a decent start, but so does Jaco. And also does Atslot heading towards turn 1 down the inside. Jaco's last win was in Qatar in round number 1. Can he keep it? Now goes round the outside and towards turn 2. Go half throttle through here. If you go full throttle, it will send you into a spin. Jaco is your race leader at the moment for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And these drivers looking pretty decent. Atslot's dropped 1 position. Brendan has had a good start as well. And here comes Unarmed. Oh, it's going to be 3 wide heading into that chicane as well. And it's a very tight bend coming up as well. You've got to brake extremely early coming up through here, because otherwise this is going to happen. And there's the pile up.
That is a virtual safety car as well, I think. But yeah, unfortunate for some of these drivers, especially Fatality, down 7 spots because of that pile up. And I also saw, I think it was Nick and Delta Hunter go straight on at the chicane. Both didn't see their... And Colin as well. Like, none of them really spotted their braking zone. That's something so important around that corner, is that braking zone. If you just go that tiny bit too late on the brakes, you're going straight on into that chicane and into the runoff. Timo, though, up 6 spots from the start, so is Lukey as well. But Timo up into 8th place already. I think the virtual safety car is ending shortly, so we'll be racing probably once, I would say, J. Cole leaves the final chicane, as J. Cole, brilliant start for him.
Can you keep it up?
Yeah, maybe. We don't know. J. Cole, I mean, Nicolas Soro was about 7 tenths quicker in qualifying. If you can keep that pace up, you would surely think that Nicolas Soro can win this one and just dispatch a J. Cole. But it does depend on how J. Cole defends this one. He'll probably be aggressive, but it's just how he feels. Does he play it safe or does he go for it? His virtual safety car is in now, so we are back to racing. Axlock has dropped quite a bit off Brendan in 3rd place. He's now about 9 tenths behind. He's got Owen behind him, who's gained a place. He's jumped Larkin off the line there, as now we head through the tricky right hand, and that's actually an Alfa Romeo in the wall. That is Posh Evans.
Safety
Posh Evans
car?
has spun in the wall, and it's a safety. Is it a VSC or a safety car?
VSC. There's no yellow dot, so we've got a VSC. No! Safety car!
It is a safety car.
Safety car's being deployed on a sprint race, ladies and gentlemen.
I did see Calzo drop the rear. That's allowed Timo up into 7th place. But then I saw in the background, just before that happened, just after that happened, Posh Evans spin, go straight into the wall. It's a very, very tricky right-hander on traction and just turning in general. So it's unfortunate for Posh Evans. He does have the feature race to come back though, but that's not how you want your sprint race to go. He's not completed a full lap under racing conditions.
He will be starting at the back of the grid as well for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And that's not ideal. It is a 35% race distance. And you're going to be losing so much laps in terms of engine wear as well. 1.5 times. So that's going to absolutely hurt him. But for everybody else, this is a second chance for everybody to potentially get a better result. J. Cole probably was a bit disappointed that the safety car came out because he had time to have a massive gap. And the safety car, I think, is going to come in this lap as well because it's a sprint race. You do not have long to think about it. Now, turn 1 and 2, this is a really tight hairpin. They have to brake hard from over 200 miles per hour on that straight to around 50 miles an hour. It's hard to not overshoot the corner. I almost overshoot it in practice. I've seen quite a lot in the race overshoot it as well. And there's been a few lockups as well. And they could get into the runoff area as well. Turn 6 as well, people have found quite difficult to that chicane in turn 7 and 8. The drivers will have to, again, avoid the walls. And it is requiring precise steering and braking, which some drivers find a bit difficult. And then, of course, you've got the turn 13. Sharp left-hander, and then coming up towards a far section of the track as well. So that is where a few people have possibly gone off as well. The safety car is going to be out for, I think, at least this lap. Everyone is pretty much caught up. And I think a lot of people have gone onto the soft, apart from Timo. But can this come to fruition? And can he benefit from the crossover point towards the end? But it is J. Cole, Nicolas Oro, Brendan are a familiar top 3. That's what we saw in guitar in round number 1. In that order, I believe. And we haven't seen J. Cole do very well up until this point. But maybe the fact it could be down to just being a new track. Or maybe he's putting a little bit more practice as well. And let's see if any other drivers have gained positions as well from this. Lukey up 6 from his engine penalty as well. Nick up 1. Conzo and Fatality drop down the most in this situation. So heading towards that chicane. I think safety car's gonna come in a bit later, I think. Or is it gonna stay out? It is gonna stay out. It is gonna stay out. So end of lap 4, the safety car will come in.
Yeah, next lap will probably come in. I think the safety car, unless it's like very, very late in the race, I think the safety car has to do a lap. That it physically can do a lap. So it will come in at the end of this one. The game always gives 2 laps of racing at the end of either the sprint or the main race. So it will be in at the end of this lap. And yeah, Timo, this safety car sort of negates that strategy of the medium tyres because the softs won't wear as much. And also those mediums will take a bit more work to warm up on the safety car restart. So we got to look out for him. Either he'll get those tyres warmed up perfectly or he'll start falling down the order. First will be behind Calzo, as we just have to wait and see what happens from this one. It's just going to be a guessing game through this sprint race of the remaining 2 laps that we will have left. And I mean, there'll be no I think there might still be VSCs enabled with 2 laps to go, but there'll be no safety car afterwards. So no matter what, there won't be a safety car. So
yes,
it's everyone for their own. And at the moment, J. Cole in a very, very good position for the final 2 laps. And to be fair, there won't be any DRS either, so it's going to make it 10 times harder for Nicolas Oro to get by. But that slipstream down that back straight, the Las Vegas Strip, is very, very powerful.
It is a safety car, as Steve was just saying, will come in at the end of this lap. So it's all guns a-blazing as they head towards the Las Vegas Strip. J. Cole will be the one controlling this restart. And if you are liking this footage, make sure you leave us a like, hit that subscribe and hit that bell if you are new. And also follow us on Twitch at One Hub Racing, at Twitter One Hub Racing, and at Instagram One Hub Racing. And after this race, you think, oh, it's over. No, but it's not. We've still got the feature race to go. The feature race will still go and look at that that strip as well. The graphics there is absolutely amazing. So well done to the effort that Codemasters and EA Sports have put into this, not going to lie. But J. Cole is going to back the pack nice and early. You can't go too early because otherwise Nicolas Oro and Brendan will give a massive, pretty much have a toe to J. Cole. So he's got to think on his feet, maybe just after the bend. And the drivers have also been warned about the pit lane entry as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. But here comes J. Cole. When's he going to go? He's gonna wait late. I think after the safety car restart line, he's gonna go. He's going. I think he might have picked the right time because he's pulling away from Nicolas Oro. Nicolas Oro did not get a good start, but Brendan did. Heading towards turn number 1, home wide, trying to get past, I think, 2 cars. That's a lot to the middle, both of Larkin and Owen. And Timo, look at that. Timo's already up to 5th on those mediums. So those mediums are really coming alive. It might compromise him in the race, because he won't have any mediums left. But for now, this is very, very good. As Nick tries to dive it down the inside of Delta Hunter. Oh, Nick has spun as well as Delta Hunter. Waze is now out of the session as well. So we lost 2 drivers from this race at the moment. But J. Cole getting a really comfortable lead. That's what cuts the circuit. And he gets a 5-second time penalty for that one.
Yeah, it seems that everyone was pushing a bit too hard there on that safety car restart. Drivers going straight off into the wall, colliding with each other, spinning round, and of course Axelot going straight across the chicane. But now we turn our attention to the battle at the top. Nicolas Oro versus J. Cole. J. Cole got a tiny bit more battery as it stands at the moment. Of course, the slipstream down this straight will be so powerful. I think that's Boom Pie in the wall as well. He spun around on the exit at turn 13, so that's unfortunate for him. But what about, as we're about to head on to the final lap of this Grand Prix, it's all going to be about, oh, J. Cole's gone very deep into the chicane. I was going to say, it's going to be all about that last straight, heading in down the Las Vegas Strip, but J. Cole very deep into that final chicane. This could allow Nicolas Oro to go for a move as they head down into turn 1. Will that has to be one of the last of the late breakers? No, he just sits behind Colin, gets past Calzo down the main straight, as Nicolas Oro now just needs to sit behind the Alpine for the final lap of this sprint, get as close as he can on the exit at turn 13, then use all the battery he can as they head down that Las Vegas Strip. We do have Colin and Calzo battling. This is over P8 in the sprint race. Will Calzo go to the inside? He's looking at it. He's going for it. Maybe no, just sits behind as they head into turn 3. But Nicolas Oro. Oh, J. Cole's gone wide. Nicolas Oro to the outside. Oh, and he spins. They're both in the wall. Nicolas Oro loses his front wing. This allows Timo up into 3rd place and Owen into the lead of the sprint race here. Slab 6 of 6. Is Owen going to be able to hold on here? Does J. Cole have any damage? That is the question. Nicolas Oro definitely does, so he might even be overtaken by Brandon in this one. But here we go. Down the Las Vegas Strip for one last time. There's Timo, J. Cole and Owen all battling out here for the win of this race. Calzo's round in the back. He is round, and that is detrimental to his race. He was in such a good position. It's J. Cole to the inside of Owen Wyatt. Timo's just going to back off and let these two battle as they head into the chicane. What's going to happen? Owen on the outside, J. Cole on the inside. J. Cole manages to defend brilliantly, but here comes Timo. Oh, no. He's got the bad check. Owen's dropped. But here comes Timo to the outside for the final corner. Is he going to get it done? The medium strategy works. And Timo gets it at the line. Timo wins your sprint race here in Las Vegas. He manages to make that medium strategy work. And what an ending to the sprint race that was. Nicolas Oro did hang on for 4th place, as Owen unfortunately dropped it out the penultimate corner and fell from 1st all the way down to 3rd.
To be fair, he would have got 2nd anyway because J. Cole was able to get P2 there, but Timo, that strategy worked perfectly. It may compromise him in the race, but in the sprint, he absolutely pretty much waited for the important moment. You only have to lead at the final moment. You do not want to be P1 at the Las Vegas Strip. You definitely don't. And I don't know how J. Cole did not get any damage from that. So he must have just spun and avoided the wall. So fair play for that save there. But your grid for the Las Vegas Grand Prix is this. Timo will be starting in pole position with J. Cole on the front row in 2nd. Owen in 3rd. Nicolas Oro in 4th. Brendan 5th. Larkin 6th. Colin 7th. Axelot 8th. Casper 9th. Conzo 10th. We've got Lukey 11th. Fatality 12th. CNR 13th. Calzo 14th. Boomboy 15th, Nick 16th, Delta Hunter 17th, Waitsy in 18th, and Posh Evans in 19th. Waitsy and Posh Evans did not make the flag. Everybody else made it through the flag fine, but I really enjoyed that end to that race. Timo has just extended his championship lead.
Yeah, he has. He showed a real champion's drive, and we forgot about this. We got told earlier on. It's a wet race.
So that is why some of the drivers went on the mediums. Wow, wow, wow. You can't say it. And it's not just inters. It's not just inters. It is full wet conditions. I will show you the conditions that the drivers will have to face in a minute. Thank goodness it didn't happen in my race where it was dry the whole way through, but standing water everywhere, even in the pit lane. I don't think many people have practiced the wet conditions around Las Vegas. So I think especially turn 1, 6 and turn 13 is going to be very difficult. And by the way, this track, average speeds compared to the Temple of Speed at Monza down that Las Vegas strip, which is absolutely massive. So heading in towards turn 1 of Monza. So yeah, that was why Timo went on the mediums, and it paid off a little bit as well. And it will be interesting to see how everyone's going to fare around here as well. Let's look at J. Cole's expectation. Oh, no, it was Timo's expectations, and read that again. Let me read that. Timo. He said he'll make it work in terms of his setup. He can't risk throwing away points. And he pretty much tried to avoid the carnage and capitalised on people's mistakes, and that helped him. To be fair, he did have to take some risks, but not dangerous risks. So brilliant job from Timo.
No, what really helped him there as well is that while J. Cole and Owen were fighting for the lead, he just stopped burning his battery. So he had still a good 30% to burn down that final straight, and that's what helped him get in that position. So he did pull off some brilliant moves in that one. And I just want to double check on the rules here. Does this mean it's no longer a two-stop strategy?
It is still a two-stop strategy.
It's still a two-stop.
Yes, in the sprint, no stops. In the feature, 2 stops. And they're not going to have much for wets to use.
Many type choices, aren't they?
So they're going to have to maybe... Some of them could do 1 lap. And looking at this, we've got quite a mix of inters.
It is intermediate conditions, yeah, just about. It's on the verge of the crossover point.
It's on the crossover point, yeah.
So if it gets harder, we might see some wet tyres come out and play. But I feel like we might be okay for the inters for the rest of the race. It just depends on the intensity as we head through the remainder of this race. I mean, Vegas isn't the track you would think would rain a lot. I know it is in November, in real life time and everything,
Correct.
but it's still in Vegas. It's still, even though it's in Vegas, it's still a very, very dry and humid area of the world. So very, very rare you do get some rain. So we're just going to have to wait and see now how the drivers react to these conditions. Probably hardly any of them have done any practice in these conditions, because no driver really does any wet practice.
No.
The majority of the time it is dry weather, so you would just practice the dry, get that smashed out, and then like this, when it rains, you just got to pray that you are good enough. And this could maybe mix the things up. It maybe means Timo might not be as good as he once was. Allow some of the drivers at the back of the grid as well to maybe show their hand in the wet. So, as I say, it's just a waiting game at this point. 18 laps around this circuit. We do still have the two-stop strategy in play as well.
Yes.
So we are probably going to have a double stop for 2 more sets of intermediates. So
yeah, and they won't have enough for the main race. So some of it they're going to have to go on scrub sets. But I do have some more respondents for the interviews as well. Nicola, at this point, he's saying that he's going to try and stay calm and focused. That is going to be the best solution. And Delta Hunter's saying he'll try the strategy, but his balls are definitely going to hit the wall. So he's going to try and avoid the wall, basically, as well. And Luki said he'll give it its best and try to manage what he can if he needed to. Casper says first lots of lap of strategy, and on the final lap going pretty much pedal to the metal. Colin going kind of all in, it looks like, as well. So quite a lot of people going all in as we're about to get underway. Luckily, I'm unmuted this time, which is great. And yes, Jamie, it is a full wet race here at Las Vegas in P1 tier. please keep it clean. I think we could see a few retirements today. I think if you survive, you will do well here. As Timo lined himself on pole position. 5 red lights here at Las Vegas. And we are racing under the lights at 1 a.m. in the morning. And Timo, not the okay start. Oh, someone's binned it. Faceham's binned it on the start line. He's hit the wall, and I think we got a VSC.
Yeah, I think that is a virtual safety car, but he didn't even make it, 100 meters off the line, and he's already in the wall. That's disaster for a fatality. He's already out the race, and it didn't even get going for him. There was no representation of how he was in the wet. He just got a bit too eager on the power off the line, maybe got a better start than someone else, put the power down a bit too early, and it spun him round. J. Cole tried to move into turn 1, but Timo just had that better start, just about managed to keep the lead from the Alpine behind him. But yeah, if that's what's to come, expect a very, very entertaining and interesting Grand Prix, because a lot of these drivers won't know these conditions and will be sliding all over the place.
They will. And I think they just got to find the grip. They've got to find the track limits as well. We could see a few penalties as well. And it's really about making their way through the field in a clean manner. And the ones who made up the most places were CN Armed, Konzo, Bumpai, Delta Hunter. They're up 2. And we're in green flag racing once again. And like I said, you do not want to be P1 towards the end of this race, if not at all, as J. Cole is going to get a very good run on Timo in towards Las Vegas Strip, then heading towards turn 13 and 14 then. The exit to turn 14 is coming very near at the moment. Owen White to the inside as well. Makes a bit of contact. That's allowing Timo to fight for P1 once again. They got away unscathed, but I wonder if there was some damage from J. Cole there. As Nicholas Soares round! Nicholas Soares round, and so is Larkin as well. Heading towards turn 15. And we got a few pitters because of it, which is not ideal. Owen tries to fend from Timo once more, and he goes a bit wide. And we got a VSC.
Welcome to the VSC train, everybody.
Oh,
yeah, I just saw
wide.
that.
It's just the VSC was slow, so they had to slow down. Okay.
And what happened into the chicane was Owen went very, very deep on the brakes. Jacob also locked the rear tyres as well, so that didn't help in that matter either of him going off. But I saw in the background is that it looked like Larkin was there on Nicolas Soro. Nicolas Soro tried shutting the door and cut straight across Larkin. He's in the wall. So is Larkin. I think Larkin managed to get away unscathed, as Calzo's just crashed under the virtual safety car, and Posh Evans picked up a drive-through penalty. But I've just seen Calzo drive straight into the wall at turn 3.
Yeah, I think he must have lost his braking point. I think in turn 3, you want to be going half throttle in the drive. In the wet, probably less than that. Probably not much throttle. Safety car! Now, if I were you, would you go on wets or would you stay on inters?
I mean, you stay on the intermediates for now because obviously they're the optimum tyre. Yeah, drivers are spinning out, they're losing a bit of grip, but if you're on the wets, you're going to be nowhere. You're going to be absolutely nowhere, and you're going to have... Yes, you might have grip, but you're going to have no pace. You're going to be so far behind. I wouldn't be surprised if some drivers do come into the pit lane now for enough to get one of their stops completed for the intermediates. So it's all about strategy really at this point when it comes to these sort of situations and what you do. But yeah, wet weather tyres you don't want to be on, and I would expect a majority of the field to come in for their first stop here.
Yeah, and if they don't come in, it'll be a bit of a shock. They have to keep an eye on the pit lane as well. So Owen comes in, unsurprisingly. Same with Timo. And they're all following the pit lane entry line in. That is what we want. And it shows that they are committed. And someone is staying out. That is Konzo. So Konzo is going to be the safety car, behind the safety car, and the de facto leader. Wait, he's going to think about. And even if you have your teammate near you, double sacking will gain you so much time than staying out. It really does need conditions. You only have to stop one more time. You can make those inters last for a bit longer as well in these conditions. And bearing in mind that Ian just laughs around about the same time as a hard tyre, so quite a lot of tyres in this race can do it. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. For some reason, I have got the 100% tyre life compared to the 50%. So I'm going to have to change that on my notes at some point, just in case I commentate again. But yeah, the only one that has not stopped is Konzo. Everyone else has done their first stop of this one. It may come back to bite him, but yeah.
And actually, I've just seen few of these drivers have done their second stops as well. The drivers that boxed at the end of lap 1 have just come in again. That's their 2 stops done. That could be crucial come the end of the race, because all these other drivers will have to serve, unless there's another safety car, another pit stop at full racing speed. And that is a long time in a track like this, where you're pretty much flat out for a majority of it. So
yeah,
the likes of Nicola Soro, I think Posh Evans made 2 stops in this one.
Nick.
Yeah, Nick. So from Posh Evans downwards, they've all made 2 stops, but of course Posh Evans does have that drive-through penalty as well. But so it's mainly Nicola Soro to Axelock is where you need to look at, because they've all made their 2 stops, and they don't have the box again for the rest of this race. Unless there's a safety car, the drivers at the front could be in big trouble.
Yes, and with it being a 35% race as well, this could mean, I think, business for these two. If they can stretch out those tyres until the end of the race, Nicola Soro could be on for this race win here. Axelock as well, I think he has had the pace. He got very unlucky at some points, but to be honest, I would have done something similar. Oh, Owen's round. Oh, he's in the pits again. They're doing the same. They're literally doing the same. They're getting their 2 stops done now. They're listening to, they must be listening to the stream. They must
surely. But let's see where these guys come out to the likes of Nicola Soro. Do they come out in front? I wouldn't assume so, because the other guys will be going at full racing speed. No, Nicola Soro is ahead, and only just ahead of Konzo, to be fair. He's just come out ahead. But
so that means Posh Evans, actually no, it's not Posh Evans. Nicola Soro is your net race leader.
Yes, unless there's another safety car, and actually even another safety car happening, the pit stops will be done at somewhat racing speed as well, because they've all got to catch up to the safety car once again.
Yep.
And yeah, Nicola Soro is your net race leader here, from having a disastrous start to this race. He's now back up to 6th, net P1. Konzo's in between him and the next car on the same strategy. So he's got a really good chance of winning this one, unless something happens catastrophic compared to what happened earlier, as Timo as well, under big pressure as your championship leader, because he could fall down all the way to last place here.
Yeah, and with 5 drivers not doing their second stop under safety car, they're going to lose so much more time. They're going to hope for another one. And with these conditions as they are, I'm predicting there could be another one. So grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. And I think there'll be certain drivers that'll be very glad that this race is over after tonight. And of course, we head from Las Vegas in USA, we head to Europe in Portugal for round number 7 of the championship on the 24th of September. So make sure you stay tuned then. As safety car comes in, Timo will be leading the field once again. I think, no, it wasn't him that was leading the last one, it was Konzo, but Timo has led safety car restarts before, and he's got to do what J. Cole done. He can't go now because he's going to give a toe to everybody else. He's got to go just before that bend pretty much finishes, or by the safety car restart line. So here he comes then, he's on hardly any throttle at the moment. He's going full throttle. He's boom, let's go racing here at Las Vegas. And Timo is on a lightning charge to potentially take the win of this one at the moment. But he still had to stop. Owen Wyatt gets past Konzo quite comfortably up into a net P2. Nicola Soro manages to hold on to a net P1. Jacob to the inside. What a move from Jacob there. I completely missed the aftermath of that. But Jacob up into a net P2. Now Owen now dropped down to third. Look at Casper in all of this as well. Casper has a good shot as well. I forgot all about him. Casper defends to the right-hand side. Hopefully no one goes into the wall. That was close from, I think, one of the Williams that was forced to Brendan. And C Unarmed gets past Colin. Oh, that was very late on the brakes from them. Colin to the right-hand side. C Unarmed to the left. And look at that gap that Timo's falling.
Yeah, Timo's flying out in front here, but it's carnage at the back here. Owen is dropping down places left, right and centre. He's now being overtaken by Brendan as they head into the S part of the circuit. This will then head into the very tricky left-hander. Brendan brakes early. Owen brakes so much later. He manages to get the car stopped. Nick gets a drive-through penalty for corner cutting and gaining too many places in one go. As that's someone off at the back. That's Delta Hunter down the escape road. Very good avoidance from him. If he was avoiding his teammate Axlock or just completely missed his braking zone and went straight on. But look at it at the back here. We have Boompai versus Brendan. Brendan was battling with Owen only a few corners ago. Now he's under threat from Boompai as they head into the chicane once again. Boompai gets ahead. Brendan really struggling here with the braking of the car. Posh Evans, of course, does have that drive-through penalty. He's serving it now. But Larkin now, he needs to try catch back up to Nicolo Soro just to help out J. Cole. But J. Cole is under pressure from Casper as they head into turn one. Casper very late on the brakes in his Red Bull. Locks the rear end slightly. J. Cole out wide. Casper to the outside now for turn two. Will Casper be able to get round the outside? He's going for it. He's feathering that throttle. He's managing just to try and get as much traction as he possibly can out the corner. Delta Hunter has retired in the pit lane. His race is run as J. Cole versus Casper rages on into turn three. But Casper just sits behind as look at Larkin. He's all over the back of Nicolo Soro as they head into the chicane. But luckily, both of them pick out their braking zones and they are able to carry on in this race.
Through turn 6 and then through 7 and 8 and then heading towards turn number 9. They go on this long swooping straight and then you head towards the kink of turn 10. And I think Larkin's going to gain quite massive here through that toe. This was the part of the circuit where it ended my race, unfortunately, for the feature. Let's hope it doesn't ruin anybody else's race as we head towards the half race distance mark in just a few laps' time. Timo, 2.5 second gap. Colin doing quite well up in front as well in third, but he still has to stop one more time. Same with the likes of Larkin. Looks like Owen's going to go for another move towards the Las Vegas Strip then. To the right-hand side, J. Cole surely's got to defend to the left, and Casper could take advantage of both of them as well. He could get a double overtake heading in towards turn 14. And they just about get through unscathed, but J. Cole almost lost out 2 places. So did Casper. Timo set the fastest lap of this race on pretty much old tyres. And Nicolo Soro thought he was going to get past Larkin. He didn't get past Larkin for the time being then. Heading towards turn number 1 again. Casper is under pressure from Boompai. And we know how Boompai likes to gain positions in a race.
Yeah, Boompai loves gaining these places. Nicolo Soro and Larkin, they're in a huge scrap. This is over P4 at the moment, and to be fair, J. Cole dropping a huge amount of time. Nicolo Soro to the outside of Larkin, and Larkin manages to stay ahead as Owen gets past J. Cole. J. Cole really been holding up this train, and Owen Wyatt, the first one to get round the Alpine as they head into the 5 and 6 chicane, but Owen locks the rear tyres. He manages just to keep the car in a straight line as they head through the chicane now, but look at the train behind these cars. Casper, Boompai, Konzo, Brendan and Lukey all in this train behind J. Cole as Owen, you would think, will start to shoot off up the road to catch up to the back of Larkin and Nicolo Soro. But J. Cole, he needs to defend here as he's locked the rears. He's spun round. Oh, and he's been connected by Casper as they head through the turn 12 left-hander. That's allowed Boompai up into 7th place. Casper and J. Cole dropping down places. Konzo now up to 8th. J. Cole and Casper. It could be 3 wide here. Maybe even 4 wide as they head down the Las Vegas Strip with Brendan and Lukey also trying to get involved. It's 2 by 2 as they go down the Las Vegas Strip. It's Boompai. Casper late on the brakes. to avoid the Haas. I think he might have got a bit of front wing damage from hitting the back of Bumpai. He has. J. Cole forces him into the wall as well, as now again 2x2 as they head down this back straight. Oh, that's Casper as well. He's brake checked. I think that was Brendan there, trying to get into the pit lane. Casper into the pits now, but and he's gone straight back out of the pits.
I don't think you meant to do that.
Nicholas Soro and Larkin. Brendan's retired from the race. As Larkin and Nicholas Soro, their battle rages on as they head up into turn 3. It's the Alpine versus the Haas. It's like how it was at the start of the season, but this time it's Larkin to the inside of Nicholas Soro. He sits in behind. Nicholas Soro goes wide though. He nearly hits the wall. He does hit the wall. He's bounced off the Alpine and the wall, and Larkin manages to stay ahead one more time. But the question is, does Nicholas Soro have a bit of damage from that? Colin Mason gets a 5-second time penalty.
He does. Owen is gaining quite a bit as Brendan has retired. No safety car, of course. We're almost halfway. But I think it's only minor damage that Nicholas Soro has got. So I think he was very lucky not to have sustained any major damage, because that pretty much could have ended his race. For the top 4, they would hope for a safety car to bring them back into contention. For everybody else, they hope no safety car. Yellow flag. That is the AI of Brendan, it looks like. It's Posh Evans has spun round. He's got front wing damage, and he has had an awful evening at Las Vegas, retired at the sprint race, and he's got front wing damage in the feature race as well. At this rate, he's going to be scoring 0 points to his name, and that is something you do not want to see at all. Nicholas Soro tried again to go past Larkin on the Las Vegas strip. Larkin is not giving up here. I know Larkin may have to stop one more time, but Larkin's like, you know what, I don't care that you may have to stop one more time. I'm going to try and push you to the limit. And this is going to be game on for these two. The more these two keep squabbling, I think we could see another fight for the winners. Larkin to the left-hand side. And I think Nicholas Soro could try and get the outside heading in towards turn number 2. This kind of reminds me of the Vietnam Grand Prix, this part of the circuit. And I didn't like Vietnam, and Nicholas Soro wheezes in frustration that he just can't get past. And look at this. Owen Wyatt's in this train as well. These two are keeping squabbling. He's allowing the train behind to catch up.
Oh, Nicholas Soro's got straight on to turn 3, and that's allowed Owen through. Nicholas Soro missing his braking point, locks up both the front tyres, and that's allowed Owen Wyatt up into 5th place, and now the net race leader of this Grand Prix. It's absolutely disaster for Nicholas Soro. He's been stuck behind Larkin, tapped the wall last time around at that exact same corner, might have a bit of front wing damage from that, and he's gone straight on, and that's allowed Owen Wyatt through. And Will Larkin not back down to Owen Wyatt either, but to be honest, all Owen has to do is just continue driving this so cleanly and so smoothly. One thing about in the wet weather, you need a good rhythm. You need to be there and always on the limit while knowing where you cannot push, and it seems like Owen Wyatt is doing that now. He's got the battery saved up as well to boot down at the Las Vegas strip. He's 1.1 seconds behind Larkin. Colin Mason's actually quite close to Timo.
Out the race.
Is that a safety car? No. Nothing.
Oh, Brendan's off as well. No, it's not Brendan, it's Konzo. And Cian Arms, it's Pitt. He's pitting.
I just realised.
What?
Cian Arms has passed Timo in all of that.
Nope, he hasn't. He's boxing.
No, because Cian Arms was ahead before the pit stop.
Oh, right. So Timo's passed Cian Arms then?
So, anyway, Timo is now your race leader at the moment, but that's not going to last unless it's safety car. There better not be, because I swear Timo was leading the safety car. Owen down the inside of Larkin, gets the move done nicely into turn 3. He now needs to just focus on trying to close that gap to Timo as much as possible to reduce, even if there is a safety car, the risk of being overtaken in this one. As it's 9 seconds, you probably lose about 10 to 11 seconds under the safety car, so he needs to be careful with that. As Cian Arms past Bumpai now, he is on much fresher intermediate tyres. He's made his 2 stops in this one, so now Cian Arms could be a good shout for the podium here in this race. It's just going to be about how those intermediates do compared to the older ones that a majority of these drivers have on. And it's just going to be to see what pace he does have. He does seem to have nice pace at the moment, in a good rhythm is Sia Unarmed, and especially on those fresher intermediates, does seem to have quite a big amount of pace. Lukey trying to get past J. Cole as they head down the Las Vegas Strip. They've got Bunpai right in front of them as well, giving J. Cole a bit of a slipstream. Will Lukey look to the inside and brake late? No, he brakes very, very early just to make sure he doesn't go into the back of J. Cole as Bunpai slides through the final chicane. Is J. Cole going to be able to get past as they head down the main straight for the 11th time in this Grand Prix? J. Cole in the slipstream. Will he go for the move? He'll be done not to. He'll go to the inside, you would think, as they head into turn 1. J. Cole versus the Haas. No, he just waits his turn as Bunpai goes deep. J. Cole put that pressure on, and he's now going to have the outside for turn 2. This could invite Lukey into the action as well. The Alpine round the outside of the Haas, trying to get the throttle on as quickly as possible. He gets the traction. He's ahead of Bunpai. Will Bunpai, though, fight back as they head into turn 3? To the inside goes the Haas. Is he going to go late on the brakes? No. Just going to sit behind the Alpine in front of him. And Lukey trying his best to be involved in this action, but just that tiny bit too far back.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of drivers that could lose out if they're not careful. Don't forget, top 12 score points in the main race. And in the sprint race, it's top 12 as well. 12 points down to 1. And in the feature race, 20 points you get for the race win as well. And there could be a lot of drivers that could gain a lot from this. Timo's still yet to stop. I think I know what Timo's doing here. I think Timo is thinking there could be another safety car coming. And to be honest, I don't blame him for staying out, and I have to agree with him. I think we could see another safety car. So he's playing this, I think, well, and if it doesn't pay off, then it's probably gonna be my fault, because I probably think that there's gonna be another safety car. But yeah, a bit of a sliding note from Timo, so he's lost a bit of time. But Lukey gets past Bunpai on the Las Vegas Strip, but Bunpai's gonna fight for him once more. Sia Unarmed's gonna try and do the same thing, but here goes Bunpai to the right-hand side, heading towards turn 13 and 14. Lukey tries for all his might. Oh, it's a bit of a slide for both of them as well. And not really that surprising. That chicane heading towards the penultimate corner is so tricky. But Lukey is in 7th. Bunpai is in 8th place. Don't forget, both of these drivers, well, Lukey did take their engine penalty, and they're still having pretty decent races. Gap between the net race leader and Sia Unarmed, it's pretty much 2 seconds. I think it's going to be the battle between Callum and Owen for the win for this one, but you never know, Timo could pull off that gap and get ahead anyway. There's still a lot that could potentially happen in this one.
There certainly is. I mean, Sia Unarmed is absolutely flying at the moment. The rhythm he has, and just confidence. That's what you need in the wet weather. The confidence that he has is insane. He's gained about a second over about a lap or about a sector or so on Larkin in front of him. He comes to the inside now. This is going to be into turn 12, the braking zone. He's got to hold it. He nearly goes into the wall. Super, super close there by Sia Unarmed. Nearly lost his front wing as Larkin late on the brakes into the corner before the Las Vegas Strip. But look at the run Sia Unarmed gets on those fresher intermediate tyres. You would think Sia Unarmed might run away with this one if he's able to get past Larkin and Owen. But Larkin, using a bit of his battery, able to get back in front. Sia Unarmed, though, with that confidence on the brakes and on the traction as well, could maybe fight back into the chicane. He's going to be late on the brakes. Going to be so close to the Alpine as they're going to come out of this chicane. He might go for a move into turn 1. It'll be wise to go for a move into turn 1 as Timo comes into the pit lane. He's no longer holding out for a safety car. Owen will take the race lead. Larkin does need to take another stop, don't forget, so he's not in the battle for the lead at the moment. Sia Unarmed, though, late on the brakes into turn 1. Can't get past the Alpine this time around, but might get the traction and get the run. Turn 1, outside for turn 2, Alpine on the inside, Alfa Romeo with superior grip on the outside, gets the move done, and now the hunt begins. Owen versus Sia Unarmed, who's going to win out on this one, as we're on lap 13 of 18, the Alfa Romeo is going to be breathing down the back of the McLaren within no time.
Let us know your thoughts in the chat, guys. Who do you think is going to take this win? It could go down to Owen and Sia Unarmed, but Nicolas Soro is in this as well. If any of those top two squabble, and what a comeback could be from him, because he could close up to Timo in this championship. By the way, Timo has come out only 2.7 seconds behind Nicolas Soro. So his pace that he was showing just by staying out has helped him a little bit. Larkin's the only driver yet to stop. Everyone else has stopped at least once. Larkin, if a safety car does come out, he's in a really pretty much decent position here. Colin, by the way, is going to defend and attack from Bumpai to the inside. Goes Bumpai. You don't want to be going through there. Wait until the straight to go for the move. So we're going to follow Bumpai now as we go on board the Haas driver. He's been having such a great season. Lovely to see him. Lovely to see rookies just pretty much go into their own in One Hub Racing. And Bumpai goes to the left-hand side. And he's going to go heading towards turn 13 and 14 to that chicane. And clips that apex absolutely beautifully. But Colin's going to go on the attack here. Through the straight here. And Colin is through. As Larkin is in, by the way. So that's everyone that's done their 2-star. And look at C Unarmed. He's gained a lot of positions and placed it and on Owen Wyatt here. And C Unarmed is leading the race. C Unarmed has gained a lot of time through there. That was incredible.
Brilliant from C Unarmed around the outside. He's got so much grip compared to Owen in front. And I've just looked at the race director. C Unarmed is around about 2 seconds quicker than anybody in the field. He was about 2 seconds quicker over the past few laps than Owen. 2 seconds quicker than the likes of Timo over the past few laps. He's absolutely flying out in front. He's got so much confidence when it comes to this wet weather conditions that C Unarmed is absolutely flying. A purple middle sector as well. And he even overtook Owen in the first sector. He's absolutely flying out in front. 2 seconds already he's pulled from Owen in second place. Timo's gained about 2 seconds on Owen as well. So maybe this strategy of staying out later and then coming in at around about lap 10-ish has really worked out here, and they've got so much more grip compared to all these other drivers that they can just get past and fly away. So that could help C Unarmed, as Timo still needs to get past Owen. And C Unarmed is in a really, really good position to win this one here. His first race win of the season could come here at Vegas, and he'll be the first P1 driver to ever win around this circuit.
And you definitely want to be one of those drivers to make history. Look at that. 143.166. And Timo's just gone 2 seconds quicker. What?
It's not over yet.
It's not over.
Certainly it's not over.
And I think Timo could use Nicolas Soro as well. So I think we can see a 4-way fight for the race win. I think Owen's chance for a race victory is lost, unfortunately. He's losing so much time. But for the likes of Timo is going to be like, you know what, I want to go for this one. I want to get the maximum points. Because don't forget, he got the race win in really great fashion last time in the sprint. And he could be on for the double here, which could be absolutely amazing stuff. Here comes Timo through this tight hairpin, through this straight, and I don't think Owen was fighting that one as well. I think Owen knows that Timo is faster than him, and he's just got to concentrate on trying to hold on to that podium, which is fair enough. Pick your battles. You don't want to be fighting too much, because otherwise you're going to lose so much time to the cars behind. And he's like, I'll see if I can fight for third. You guys fight for the win. My battle for the win is last. I think that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to see him fight off Timo as long as he possibly could, but he probably saw how it went with C Unarmed and was like, yeah, you're going to get past me anyway, so what's the point of actually defending this one? Because he's 1.1 seconds behind already, and he would have lost a bit more time to Nicolas Soro behind, but nothing too major. But I think he just wants to finish this race at this point, get another podium. So that's 2 podiums in a row at the moment. It is for Owen, as Axelot gets past Bumpai. Bumpai really starting to struggle in this race. He's really started to fall down the order at the final few stages here. He's just not liking the tyres at all. But the gap we have to look out to now. C Unarmed, last time around, set a 1 minute 41.9. Timo, a 0.7. So it seems that C Unarmed lost that time in the lap before because he was overtaking the McLaren of Owen. it's going to be so close near the end if Timo can find any more time in his AlphaTauri. But if not, See Unarmed is looking set to take a maiden victory here this season. And it will be something amazing to see. I'm having a look at the sector splits. Oh, I've missed Timo's one. But See Unarmed was around about 2 tenths down. So it's going to be so close come the end as Bunpai gets back past Axel, but I think he cut the chicane to do so. So he lets Axel back through. And yeah, Bunpai really starting to struggle here on these intermediates. But Colin as well, in a very good place here to maybe get top 5. And J. Cole, a very underrated performance. Yes, he started second, but he's not had the greatest of luck over the past few races. Yes, he got 4th in Japan, and he's looking for at least a P6 here in Las Vegas.
And I think he started second in the feature, but things have not gone his way. It's not gone Colin's way up until now. To the inside into that chicane. Very lovely stuff as well. Colin gained for good measure, and he's up into 5th spot as we're approaching the penultimate lap of this race. See Unarmed is leading at the moment with Timo in P2. Bunpai has got a 3-second time penalty as he's fighting with Axelot currently at the moment. I have to say, good comeback from Colin. Wait, where did he start? He started 7th, don't forget he was near the back for his engine penalty. Lukey as well, don't forget, has gained massive. See Unarmed, by the way, do you want to know how many positions he's gained? 12. 12 places. His strategy, I have to say, was pretty good. Timo as well. I can't call who's going to get that race win. It may come down to setup, or it may just be track position. See Unarmed got the undercut, and it worked in his favour. Maybe if Timo appeared at the same time, do you think he would have been near See Unarmed? I don't know. But they're fighting for the win anyway. DRS enabled!
This is big. Casper has gone onto the soft, but of course he won't have too much to play with.
Fastest lap, though. Fastest lap.
But as well, Timo is about second a lap. Well, last time round he was a second a lap faster.
Nixon.
See Unarmed. Nixon to the pit lane. I think that's also just going to try and go for the fastest lap, because why not? You're down in 14th place. Might as well try and get a point out of it.
It's completely dry. It's completely almost dry.
There is a bit of grease still left on the circuits. The tyres will be overheating slightly. It's still raining here in Vegas. I mean, look at that main straight. If you go offline, that tiny bit, you're going spinning into the wall. But now, DRS enabled. Timo, can he get within DRS? No. He doesn't have the verse zone for some DRS, but he is quicker throughout the lap than See Unarmed. That is a yellow flag. I think that's for Casper.
Yeah.
Making a mistake on his soft tyres. I think it might just be a bit too wet for the soft tyres to work around here.
Yeah, it's a bit too wet, I think, yeah.
But we're on the final lap. Timo can have DRS. See Unarmed might have made a bit of a mistake there, heading into the 5 and 6 chicane. Timo has found a bit of time, but then loses it on the exit. It's going to be so close to see if Timo would get DRS. That could be crucial to the end of this race. Yellow flag, I think that's again for Casper. I think he might just actually be setting up for a somewhat quali lap. Timo, 9 tenths into 8 tenths. Will he be able to get DRS? It's looking likely to the DRS detection point. He does. It's going to be so close now between the two as DRS is open for Timo. No DRS for See Unarmed. Here comes Timo, the AlphaTauri. He made a last lap move for the sprint. Can he do the same for the feature? To the outside he goes. He gets the move done before the braking zone. Timo, again, another masterclass on the strategy as they now head into the chicane. Will he go deep on the brakes? No, he managed to go perfectly. See Unarmed picks up a second time penalty. That's disastrous for any chance he had of fighting for the win. But Owen will not catch up in time. But Timo makes it 2 from 2 here in Vegas. He wins another champion's drive from Timo. He is looking possessed at the moment and wanting to win this championship. He wins the sprint. He wins the feature. He's made it 3 race wins. Oh, actually 4 race wins in a row. 3 of...
That is incredible for Timo, and he's been loving life at the moment out front, as I think Steve cut off a little bit there, but that's why I had to carry on. But Timo, he got the lead on the final lap, in the sprint. And he did exactly the same for the feature. He knew what he was doing. He wanted the fresh tyres ready for this moment. And he wanted to make sure he was behind C Unarmed for the final moment as well. And he's delivered as well. Solid job to our top three. All three of them have delivered very well. Nicholas Oro, good comeback. Colin did really, really well. Got some decent points for him in that Mercedes in 5th. Jake and Larkin picking up some decent points. Don't forget Larkin had to pit later. And he still finishes 7th, so decent points. Lukey, good comeback as well. And Casper has set the fastest lap outside the top 10. So he is going to get the extra point unless Nick has anything to respond to. He's about 4 seconds up. Oh, Scorpion, unfortunately, it's out of this one, but let's see. Let me get the fastest lap up, actually. Can Nick do it?
I think Casper ran out on the way to the line. Will Nick do it? Yes, he does. He does it.
Nick gets a point.
He gets the point. I mean, I think Casper ran out of fuel just as he was heading to the line, so he lost a bit of time through the final corner. But, oh wow, what an ending that was to such a great Grand Prix. And yes, I did cut off there. I may have unplugged my mic by accident. I was moving out much. But yeah, it was a brilliant drive in both the sprint and the main race by Timo. He is looking absolutely certain to win this championship. He wants it. And again, just 2 brilliant strategies paying off there. Winning the sprint by 6 thousandths of a second, and in the race by around about 8 tenths if you remove C Unarmed's 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, that has been a good one. Something to write up in the history books, I have to say. But your race winner, Timo, is looking like he could claim the championship very soon. But you never know. Nicolo still has a good chance. Anyone still has a good chance, realistically. So we've got Timo from C Unarmed, Owen Wyatt in 3rd. Another solid result from him. 2 podiums in a row as well. And then we've got Nicholas Oro in 4th, Colin in 5th. Then we've got Jaco, Larkin, Lukey, Konzo, Bumpai, Waitsy, and Casper, your final point scorers. Nick also gets some points as well for him getting fastest lap outside the top 10. We've got Axelot, Posh Evans, 4th, Brendan, Del Hunter, Calzo, and Fatality. Unfortunately, did not make it to the end of this Grand Prix. Fastest lap inside the top 10 belongs to Timo. So he gets maximum points, I believe.
Yes. Do we get the fastest lap for the sprint?
You don't get fastest lap for the sprint, no.
Alright, yeah, so yes, it's maximum points there for Timo. It just shows how good he was throughout this entire race day. And, I mean, even with the engine penalty, coming from the back...
Oh, yeah, we had his engine penalty, didn't he?
Yeah, coming from the back, winning the sprint, then doing it pretty much all again in the feature. I mean, of course, it wasn't as low down in the feature when he came in. It was about 6th place. But he still caught all that time up to C Unarmed, who looked certain for victory, and managed to win it. So, brilliant performance there from Timo. And, I mean, he can be certainly happy with that one. And he's the first P1 driver to win around Vegas as well.
Yeah, I think 3 drivers have made history tonight. Of course, we saw JM winning P2, Funky winning in P1 for Vegas as well. So these guys have made history tonight. But we got to pick drivers of the day. I almost forgot. We got to pick our driver of the day and ask a question. So, who do you think will get those? So, I'm going to ask you the question first, Steve. Who is your driver of the day and what would you like to ask him?
I've got to go for Timo. I've got to. It's the logical answer. And I want to ask him, did you think that sprint race strategy was going to pay off like that?
That is a good question. And to be honest, that's what I would have gone for as well. So let me get the stream up just to see who has gained quite a lot of positions.
C Unarmed did.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go for C Unarmed because he also played that strategy well. He started 13th in the feature race. Did not have the best of sprint rates, to be fair. He thought he'll be out of it. He pitted a few laps earlier than Timo. and it paid off for him. And he almost got the win there. And I think without that penalty, if we had one more lap, he would have gone for it. But that was, I think, a good race for CN Armed. So my question for CN Armed was, I think he kind of nipped my question actually as well, but speaking of your strategy, did you think you were ever going to be on the podium after a poor sprint race? So that was my question for CN Armed. And I have to say, everybody in that top 5, I would say, deserves honourable mentions for the way that they've driven today. But yeah, we have got Portugal up next week. I'm not going to be here. I'm on holiday. So I don't know who's going to be joining Steve in the commentary box. We need to find a streamer. So yeah, we hope we can find one soon. I'm gutted I'm missing Portugal because it's a lovely track to commentate on and race on. But Steve, what can you expect from the Portugal circuit at Portimao?
Very tricky circuit. I mean, a lot of camber around that track. It's like, as a lot of people say, it's like a roller coaster, really. You're going up and down, side to side, and I would expect a few mistakes from drivers, especially out of turn 8. Very, very key spot to spin round on power, or even just turning in too early, getting a bit too much camber, and the car bottoms out for you. So expect that, and also expect a few DRS trains, because of course really only 2 overtaking opportunities around Portimao, into turn 1 and then into the hairpin, I think turn 4. So yeah, expect a few mistakes, and then expect DRS trains and strategy to play a big role in the main race.
Yeah. So make sure you stay tuned at 8 PM UK time next week. But before we go, let's have a quick word from our sponsors once more, because we've got quite a few of them to go through. So we'll go through them now. So shout out to our first sponsor, Next Level Racing, by sponsoring the league by providing a NLRF GT Elite Light Wheel Plate Edition and ES1 seat to one of our champions. And every driver will have a chance to win a Next Level Racing 2.0 wheel stand. And one of our second or third place drivers in their tiers championship will win a Next Level Racing GT Elite Light Wheel Plate Edition and ERS2. Also, shout out to Pure Sim Gear for sponsoring the league by providing their gloves or socks to the driver who has the most combined poles and fastest laps. Athertech Sim Sport sponsors the league by providing the driver with the shortest combined quality time, winning a set Imitator Sim Racing boots. And the winner of the GRT Going Against Tap Award wins an Athertech Sim Sports t-shirt and cap. The Mystery Shirt Box sponsors the league by providing one of their mystery shirt boxes to the winner of One Hub Racing's driver rankings for season 23. And now we move on to our partners. Vespertine, partner with Vespertine, who supports our official apparel. Elite Racing Team partners the ERT Going Against Tough Award and sponsors our league trophies. And also shout out to SimGrid, powered by SimGrid, run our seasons through their community and platforms. We're going to head off. It's been a great race. I really enjoyed Las Vegas commentating on it. I think it's maybe better after the rubbish feature race I had. Well, Steve will be back next week for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Have a good evening. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time for Belgium. But until now, stay safe and good night.